Hi guys, so today we're gonna do a little something. Hi guys, so today we're gonna do something a little bit different. We are gonna be talking about love triangles. So I've picked a few movies and TV shows that had love triangles in it, and we're gonna have a talk about it as well as me picking which team I'm on. So, and then we're gonna rank like the characters of that love triangle, basically. So, let's get started. So, the first iconic love triangle we are going to be talking about is Edward versus Jacob. So, Edward versus Jacob. This has always been a huge topic since like I was younger, you know. Even till now, if you watch Twilight, you're gonna be either Team Edward or Team Jacob. And a lot of what I see is Team Edward, which, you know, is fine. The vampire, you know, people are into it, I get it. But ever since I was younger, I was always Team Jacob. I get it. People are going to hate. People are going to be like, no, wrong choice, blah, blah, blah. It's fine, whatever. That's my choice. Team Jacob, all right? Now, when he had his long hair, I wasn't really Team anyone, but that scene where it was the rain and, you know, he was shirtless and he had his haircut, Team Jacob. Right then and there, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I got it. We're in. So, when it comes to the love triangle with Bella, I'm Team Jacob. When it comes to Bella, I think Jacob was maybe a little too boring for her, even though in my opinion, he's actually way more interesting. Werewolf all the way. I thought Edward was really dull and just like no personality, which I get is the point. He's a vampire, but I just was not a fan at all. So, Team Jacob for me. Now for the ranking, we have 4 choices. So we have iconic choice, which is just like the choice, it's just the right choice no matter what. That is what iconic choice means. Right choice for the character. So it could mean that like I'm not a fan, but they deserve to be with that person in the love triangle. Whatever is like, I honestly don't care at this point if you were in the love triangle or not. Like whatever, it's, you know. And the last one is you shouldn't even be in the love triangle. There is no necessary need for you to be a part of the situation. So those are the choices that we have. Now we're gonna put Edward and Jacob in the ranking right now. So Edward, for me, to be completely honest with you, it makes sense why Bella would choose him because like I wasn't her biggest fan either in a sense. So I am gonna put Edward in like right choice for the character as in Bella because I think Jacob kind of deserves someone better. So for me, like Jacob is pretty iconic. Like that's the guy that I choose. He is like, you know, so for me, like, yeah, if it was me, I would pick Jacob. So that's kind of what iconic choice is. Like I would pick him, you know what I mean? So yeah, Team Jacob. Next, we have the iconic Hunger Games. Okay, so for the Hunger Games, we have Peta and we have Gale. In my opinion, I'm going to be completely honest here, I am not Team either of them, to be completely honest with you. When I watched the movies, Gale, first of all, was barely in it, didn't do it for me. Peta was too much of like a wussy, in my opinion. Like it just wasn't giving. Like, you know, when you watch like sci-fi movies and stuff, like you kind of want the guy to kind of be like, yeah, confident, I'm ready for it. And, you know, but he just wasn't one of those guys, so it didn't really do it for me. Josh Hutcherson himself, I was a big fan of at one point when I was younger. Like, all his movies I watched, you know, but now that I'm older and I watched it, yeah, it doesn't really do it for me like that. So I'm gonna say I'm not either. Like, I really don't like either of them. But if Finnick was a part of that, I would have chose Finnick. Mwah, love. But he didn't really have a thing with Katniss or anything, so he's not really in the love triangle, unfortunately. So I can't pick him. Now, for this one, to be honest with you, I do think Peta is right for Katniss because they were in the Hunger Games together. And, you know, he was kind of with her through all of the situations that happened. So they have that, like, bond together. So I understand why they fell in love in a sense. And then at the end, like, he chose her and came all the way back to District 12 and they had, you know, had a family with her and stuff because that's what he cared about most. So I do think that he's, like, the right choice for Katniss. And Gale, to be honest with you, is just, like, I don't know if I should put him in whatever or, like, just shouldn't be in the love triangle. And I'm sure people will get mad about that because I'm sure people are like, no, Gale. But yeah, he didn't do it for me at all. He was just jealous, but then, like, didn't care. And then his sister died at the end and he still didn't really give a shit, which was crazy to me. So I'm honestly going to just put Gale in, like, he just shouldn't have been in the triangle because he didn't do anything. He wasn't even in the games. Like, he had nothing to do with what was happening, really. So it's just like, I don't think he should have been in the love triangle. Next, we have the Vampire Diaries. Okay, so the Vampire Diaries, iconic. We all love it. You know, it's one of our favorite shows. I can agree to that. And I am team Damon. I'm team Damon. I think he's great. I think he's just, like, obviously a little bit toxic, but, you know, who doesn't love that? There was a point where I was like, maybe Stefan is, like, the right choice. So I rewatched the show and I was just like, I tried, like, to, like, you know, mature. He is a bit more mature until he became, like, the Ripper. But yeah, I thought, okay, maybe I could change my mind and it could be Stefan. But it just went back to Damon. So honestly, I'm team Damon. I'll probably always be team Damon. It's just how it is, you know? Okay, so for the ranking, okay, well, Damon for me is, like, iconic choice, to be completely honest with you. He's pretty, like, it's just how it is. Stefan, on the other hand, is, like, I honestly love Stefan. I think he's great as, like, a person, you know, when he's mature and not a Ripper. I don't know if he's right for Alina. Like, honestly, I don't even know if Damon was right for Alina because at one point, Damon and Bonnie were giving such vibes that I was into it. And I know in the book they kissed or something. In the show, they were like, no, nothing. He's fully for Alina. Like, he's gonna wait for Elena. And that pissed me off because him and Bonnie and, like, the other world were just like, mwah, chef's fucking kiss, okay? So yeah, I think Damon and Bonnie would have been really cute, but that wasn't a thing. So anyway, back to Stefan. I think Stefan was, unfortunately, no. I have to say, like, probably, I think him and Alina were actually really good together. So I'm actually going to put Stefan is right for Elena. Like, I think him and her would have just made sense. And then Damon should have been with Bonnie. Sorry, I said it. That's what I think should have happened. All right, next we have the Gilmore Girls. Yes, I love this show. All right, so the Gilmore Girls, we have quite a few, like, different love triangles in this, but I chose Jess and Dean because they were just, like, simple. They were both in high school. They both kind of overlapped, basically, because she was with Dean when she met Jess. And I have always been team Jess, like, from the beginning. I did not like Dean at all. I don't know why. Like, you know, he was supposed to be, like, the perfect first boyfriend, but I didn't see it. when he said I love you and she didn't, he got so angry, and I was like, you need to relax. It's not that big of a deal.
I love you.
I'm surprised. I didn't expect.
You don't love me.
I'm sorry.
Like, why are you so, like, up her ass about it? Like, leave her be. And then Jess was, you know, like, the boy who came in who just, like, didn't know what love was and, like, was rude. But then she kind of came in and he was like, okay, and he loved to read. Like, he was such a smart boy, but everyone just saw him the wrong way because, you know, poor thing, just didn't have, like, a good family life, basically. So he acted out, but, like, all you would see him do is read, you know? And I was like, all right. And then Dean honestly was just like, yeah, he was not. And then even the part where Dean was like, oh, you know, I would love a wife who would go, like, when I go home, she'll, like, cook a meal for me and stuff. I was like, pardon me? What did you just say?
Over the top, but the general idea of a wife cooking dinner for her husband and family, that's nice.
So no, I was not a fan of Dean. I'm gonna rank Dean in whatever. Like, for me, he wouldn't even exist because I don't like him. But in the love triangle, I understand, like in the show. But I just don't think he is it, like, at all. You know? It just wasn't it for me. Sorry. Jess, on the other hand, I'm gonna have to say, like, iconic, because I did really love Jess. Like, he was great. I was a fan of him. So yeah, I would say, like, iconic. I would choose Jess any day of the month, any day of the year. That's the guy. So yeah. All right. So the next show is 90210 Beverly Hills 1990. Now, in this show, I'm going to be talking about the girlies. We have Brenda and we have Kelly. And they both were into Dylan. Now, this was kind of wild because I didn't see it coming at first for some reason in the first few seasons. And, you know, like, Brenda was with Dylan and I was like, yeah. And then she left for Paris and then Kelly came in and Kelly was like, hey. And they've known each other forever. But now, you know, since they both don't really have anyone right now because she was in Paris and stuff, they were like, ooh. So I was actually team Brenda. Like, I loved Brenda. Like, she was a vibe for most of the time, you know? Like, I liked her. Kelly, not really my kind of girl. Yeah, I didn't really vibe with her, even, like, in general. So that's why I feel like I just was with team Brenda a little bit. And so I would just, like, choose her in that sense if I was the guy in, you know, the situation. But I know that Dylan picks Kelly. So when it comes to the ranking, though, I think that Brenda, I'm kind of glad that Brenda didn't go for Dylan because Dylan did have a lot of issues later on. So I think Brenda's, like, pretty iconic for me. Like, I did like her a lot. And Kelly, I think, was the right choice for Dylan because, I don't know, they knew each other and, like, he did have issues later and she was able to kind of help him with it. So I do think she's right for Dylan. I just am, like, am a Brenda, I'm a Brenda fan from the beginning. So I'm just, you know, that's just where I am. I'm team Brenda. That doesn't mean Dylan has to be or anyone else has to be. All right, next up, we have One Tree Hill. So we have Brooke and Payton. Once again, I was super, like, invested in Brooke. I loved her. She was a confident gal. She kind of did what she wanted. Fake it till you make it, whatever, you know? Like, I was team Brooke all the way. Payton didn't do it for me. Didn't vibe with her. Sorry. But when it comes to Lucas specifically, because that's what the triangle is based at, I think Payton just makes sense with Lucas. And I think Brooke could do better than Lucas. Even though Lucas is a beautiful man because it's Chad. Love him as, like, you know, him, like he's chef's kiss. But as the character, he cheated on Brooke. He wanted Payton the whole time. So it's just like Payton and him were kind of like soulmates at that point. So I would say Payton is definitely the right choice for Lucas, but I would definitely say that Brooke is iconic. That girl is iconic to me. I love her. So yeah, I would pick Brooke like any day, basically. There was that scene with Brooke too, where like she had these different like sayings on her, and it was all these things that she was insecure about, and she talked about how, you know, insecurity was a part of her, and like no one understood, and she felt like everyone else was moving on with their lives and she was stuck.
Moving forward, and it's like I am stuck here.
That's what I'm afraid of. Not being enough.
Things like that, like when she started opening up about herself, like I was like, oh my God, I love it, because this is how most of us feel, you know? Like I just felt that vibe from her, because she would be confident, but then she showed that side of her. So that just made me Team Brooke, honestly. Okay, so we're still gonna be on One Tree Hill, but this time it's Nathan versus Lucas. So when I was in like university, my friends and I would watch One Tree Hill, and it was kind of crazy how like my friends would be like, oh my God, Nathan, oh my God. And I would just be like, huh? Like, why? I still don't get it. I was like, why is Nathan like the it guy? And they're like, he's so cute and he's so tall. And I was like, okay. Like the thing is, I like brunettes too, and he was a brunette, you know, so I would think he was my type, but it just didn't do it for me. I didn't like his personality. I didn't like him. And so I was always Team Lucas. Like Lucas was cuter. I mean, he had his issues too, but for some reason, like look wise and just like, you know, the physical physique, I think would be Lucas, because I think both of them, the high school demeanor they gave them, were both shitty boys, which is pretty normal. So in that sense, I was not Team anyone, but look wise, I was definitely Team Lucas. Now with this one, this was like for Payton, because they both were wanting Payton, and I know that Nathan cheated on her like several times. Even with Brooke, I think. So that was pretty nuts. I honestly don't think Nathan should have even been in the love triangle, like trying to fight for Payton, because he really didn't love her. He treated her like shit. So I don't think he should have been in the love triangle. I think Lucas is perfect for Payton, honestly. They just work. So I definitely think he was the right choice for the character. Next, we have one of my favorite shows of all time, The 100. Now, we have Bellamy versus Finn, and this is for Clark. This was like season 1, even though like they didn't really show Bellamy and Clark have a thing, but there was a vibe. That's all I'm gonna say. Bellamy and Clark always had a vibe, and people just, like the producers or whatever, didn't really want to show it for some reason, but we saw it. It was like enemies to lover vibe, okay? Finn, it was kind of like friends to lovers in a sense, and I was always Team Bellamy. No matter who was in the picture with Clark or whatever, or with anyone really, is Bellamy was number 1 for me. Like always, forever, he was a beautiful man. Oh my God, Bellamy is a beautiful man, and I will always think that. So I'm always going to be Team Bellamy. Now for Clark, though, it's actually really confusing for me. Like I don't know. Like I feel like Bellamy and Clark were meant to be completely, I mean, they got married in real life, guys. That's pretty iconic. The fact that they're like, you know, in real life, they're both married to each other. I love it. I'm all for it. Bellamy's an iconic choice in general, because I absolutely love him. Which, you know, he's good with Clark, and I would pick him, honestly, any day. Any day. And Finn, I don't know. Finn, like, kind of fucked over when, when Raven came down. Is that her name? It's Raven, right? I think. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. when she came down, he didn't tell Clark that he had another girl, basically. And I think he slept with Clark beforehand, too. But then he kind of said, like, oh, I'm into Clark and stuff like that. But then he, like, killed that whole village to find Clark. So he went nuts. Like, he literally went nuts, basically. And that was, like, a turnoff for everybody. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna put Finn in like whatever because I didn't really care, and I don't think it would have really mattered if he was in the love triangle, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna put him in whatever. All right, now we have another iconic love triangle, which is the summer I turned pretty. Okay, so we have Conrad versus Jeremiah. And I feel like this one was like always for me easy. It's always been Conrad. It's always been Connie baby. It has always been him. I think he is great. I'd pick him any day. I understood his like kind of assholeness season 1 and season 2. I understood it. And I think when it came to Jeremiah and they were like, hey, at least he was a nice guy, even though like his mom was dying, or when his mom died, he was the one taking care of his mom and things like that. And I totally get it and I understand that. But for some reason, like Conrad just sits right with me and he always has. I mean, yes, he has issues when it comes to Belly and like he can't figure it out. Like he'll say like, I'm done. And then he'll want her back. And then he'll say one thing, and then at the end, he's like, I was just kidding. I actually don't want you. That is annoying, and I get it. But at the same time, he saw his brother kiss her, so he was upset. And if I was him and I saw, like, someone kissing, like, someone that I like, and, let's say my sister kissed... I don't have a sister. I'm an only child. But let's say I had a sister and she kissed, like, the guy that I dated, basically. I would have lost my goddamn shit. So that scene where Conrad is, like, literally being so sarcastic in the car at the end, like season 2.
My sweatshirt looks really good on you, Bellamy. My God, so that was your first kiss? No. I mean, how many times was it last summer, guys? I mean, because normally you can't shut the fuck up about how many people you hook up with. Because last year, I remember it was 7. Just have one more question. I'm sorry, guys. Belly, which one of us is a better kisser, me or him?
Leave her alone, Conrad.
So funny. I loved it. It was hilarious. So I would definitely always be Team Conrad. And I think we all know what season 3 is going to bring us, which I'm excited about. So I would definitely put Conrad in iconic choices because I absolutely love him. Jeremiah. I'm so sorry, but I am going to put him in whatever because he doesn't do it for me, like, at all. He just doesn't do it for me. Like, I'm not saying he shouldn't, like, obviously he has to be in the love triangle, but he just doesn't do it for me. All right, so next we have My Life with the Walter Boys. So we have Alex versus Cole. Now this is like basically, you know, they said the summer I turned pretty, but like farm instead of beach house, you know? But the boys are really different from Conrad and Jeremiah. Let me just say they're pretty different, okay? I have trouble a lot with this one because I don't even know what team I am. I was Team Alex at the beginning, and then he got weird and clingy, and I was like, okay, you gotta stop. Cole at the end, I was like, ooh, it's kind of doing it for me now. So I'm really confused for both of them. I honestly don't even know who's the right choice for Jackie. There's going to be a season 2, so we're going to find out, really. I honestly think that Cole and Jackie are probably going to end up together because it just would make sense. I feel bad for Alex because obviously he also loves her and he told her he loved her, but she didn't say it back. Put Cole in right choice for the character. And unfortunately, honestly, I loved Cole at the beginning, but he's not like iconic for me in a sense because like if I was in high school, he wouldn't be my choice. So, or he would have been my choice. And then if he got clingy and the PDA stuff, I'd be like, you need to back right off because you're irritating me now. So I am going to put him in whatever, because after like season 5, he started to piss me off, unfortunately. So we'll see how it goes in season 2. Maybe he'll like redeem himself. All right, so next we have EXO Kitty. So EXO Kitty, we have Minhoo and we have Dae. Now, I was always team Minhoo because enemies to lovers any day of the week. The way that he used to like say shit to her and be so rude to her, and then at the end he was like in love with her. I was like, yes, this is what I was waiting for. So I was always team him. I thought he was really funny. He could be charming if he wanted to. I was a fan. So I would put Minhoo like iconic choice. He was just hilarious. I would probably choose him. Like, I would probably hate him at like first too, and then I'd slowly probably be into him or something. So yeah, I would definitely put him iconic. And then Dae was not my type. So I think I don't know. I don't think he was right for her either. It just didn't work. Like the way that Minhoo even knew kind of what she liked to eat and stuff, like he was listening to her, as you should. So I was a fan of that. So I think I would choose to put Dae in whatever. I mean, shouldn't even be in the love triangle. Well, I know like the other girl was also in the love triangle, which I was like, yes, you know, like who you want to like. You don't have to have just one choice. But then with Dae, she literally stopped liking him full on, and he was literally just a friend. So I think I'd put him in, he shouldn't be in the love triangle anymore. Because I know there's another season coming, and he shouldn't be in the love triangle at all. Okay, last one. We have the kissing booth. Now, the kissing booth is pretty iconic, like the show, like everyone was watching it, everyone thought it was stupid, but we still watched it, didn't we? All 3 kissing booths. So when it comes to this, we have, oh my god, what were their names? Hold on, I literally have to search up. Right, Noah and Marco. Okay, yeah, totally forgot their names. So we had Noah and Marco. So with this one, first of all, Noah never really did it for me. I know people love Jacob Elordi and people love Noah. He didn't do it for me whatsoever. And even with like Elle, I don't know if he was really the right choice for her. They had some really bad communication issues, especially in the second movie. The first one was a little weird too, because he would be like, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that, okay? Like, I don't want you to be doing this stuff. I'd be like, pardon me, like, who are you to tell me what I can and can't do, sir? Like, don't talk to me, you know? So yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of him. And then Marco, I thought, was a pretty sweet guy. Like, I think she should have chosen Marco because he was actually really, like, sweet. So I'm actually going to put Noah in whatever. And I would put Marco in the right choice for Elle, because I definitely believe like that was it. It gave me like basically Jacob and Edward vibes. Like Noah was Edward and Jacob was like Marco was Jacob. Like that's how I felt. And again, I was like team Jacob. So basically team Marco, because it just made sense. I liked Marco. There was nothing really wrong with him. Like they had a vibe. Like even that scene where they were sitting on the beach, they were having a vibe, you know? And like, yeah, I just liked him. So team Marco. Okay guys, so that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. I had a lot of fun because, you know, love triangles are always a fun time, and like all these shows I've watched and or movies, I've watched them all. I've like a few times, so you know, I know what team I am for most of them, at least. Some of them I'm actually a little bit confused, but you know, some of these shows have a season 2 coming, season 3 coming. We're excited about it, okay? So this will probably like, we're gonna rank everything again when the seasons come out and stuff, you know? So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, that would be great. And I'll see you later.